It's been a year since we first did our first living room requests.
No way.
Yeah, a year, just like that. Anyway, so we thought that we would do something to look at some of the things that you've had us do.
That's very, very amazing. I'm astonished to know. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's Patricia Hammond, and
That's
this is Matt
Matt
Redman.
Redman.
I'll give you a little summary of living room requests right now.
Yes. So basically, we should probably start by saying something about how it started.
Yeah, go on then.
It started.
Give me that.
You
Give me
want
that.
that?
I
All
want
right.
that.
You're gonna
Hard
have this.
copy.
Yeah, God.
How did this start? Now?
Well, it started.
When did it start?
Well, we in one terrifying week, we all lost all our gigs. To just like every single ping in the inbox was just basically
Cancelled.
Yeah, cancelled. Everything gone.
Postponed.
So you looked into. It was a bad time for you because you really had nothing in the bank account at the time. You just spent a bunch of stuff, and so you looked into other means of employment. I looked into other means of employment, and we decided, yeah. Anyway, so why don't you tell some of that?
And the story basically goes that you're rocking this microphone constantly because you're
all right.
And beyond that, it's still live, by the way, folks, just like the real living room request.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So I had an idea, and I was just like sort of asking around what other jobs that we could do, and I asked Ian Rosenblatt, who supported us to do our previous album, Songs of the Great War, which, by the way, you can buy in a link in the description. I'm just saying, by the by.
Well, we asked him if he needed any shelf stacking
or something like that.
at Les Aldrich, which is a shop he owns. And he didn't want any shelf stacking,
music
no
shop. But he basically said what you can do instead is do a concert for me and particularly my mother, because, not going to be able to go out for a while. And you can play these kind of songs blah, blah, blah.
He said,
I'm just speeding it along.
Yeah, okay. Well, he said, we like recitals. We like it when you do
exactly.
a recital.
We
so
like
how
it
much
when you
does
do
a recital
this. Yeah,
cost?
that's it. And basically, we told him, and we started to do these concerts. Now, what you should know is that we actually recorded the first one at the end of March.
Yeah.
But we just had it unlisted, what's called on YouTube. So it wasn't public. Yeah. So we're celebrating today, April 17th, as the anniversary. That is because that was the date that it became public for the first request concert, and thus started our sort of timeline of people paying us to play songs on the internet, which we thought would never sort of be a thing.
We never thought, because every other musician was going on the internet.
Then a couple of other people started to ask us to.
And then it was Easter, and Anna Schrader of the Volksbund Deutsche Kriegsgräberfürsorge, whom we worked with before in the past, wonderful man. He asked us, he said that in Germany they had this thing where people were paying musicians to do Easter greetings, because Easter was then. And so he asked us to do Davon geht die Welt nicht unter for his family.
And so we basically did one of those, and we did a couple of other ones like that, and then it was like, oh, here we go, we're really doing something. Yeah. And then skipping on along came who we affectionately referred to as Cake Bill.
Yes, he had the idea of Desert Island Discs. It was his friends. He called it Isolated Together, and his idea, he saw the Ian Rosenblatt one, and he said, this is a great idea, because I was going to go to 2 of your recitals and now I can't. He said, however, this would be great. And he said, I'm going to have all my friends all around the world. He worked for years at GlaxoSmithKline and Beecham's, and so he had all these colleagues from that company who had spread all around the world, and so he wanted everybody at the same moment to tune in, and he had selected the whole thing, and this was the new thing, was he had selected the songs.
And I would say by that point, the living room request format was born. Not that it wasn't born back in March 2020. It's just that the multiple people contributing really did better. So we must thank that.
And
there's going to be lots of thank yous in this video, but we've got to thank Anna and Bill, and we must also thank our most prolific requester, and I'm sure the regular viewers, which to be honest, will be everyone who's made it this far on the
Yes,
video.
exactly. If you're watching this, you're a regular.
The regular viewers will know that that's John, who actually live in Australia, and Patricia and I here in the UK. So there you go. If that doesn't sum up the internet and requesting songs on it, I don't know what does.
He's requested at least 50, I'd say, so far.
So now we just wanted to run over a couple of like factual things that are like, you might say living room requests in numbers or facts, until we go to some opinion-based things, which are just going to be my review and Patricia's review of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So which was the longest song to prepare for this series?
I would say definitely the request was the Stravinsky.
From John, Adam and Matt.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Well, not crazy. Suffices to say it was there was a lot involved.
It was all the requirements that they insisted on. It's insane.
We had to play a different instrument for each number.
He did.
Patricia sang them in French. So if you go and check out that, if you search for Stravinsky in Living Room Requests, which is patriciahammond.com/request, and guess what? It'll be in the link in the description, and you can find that.
That was a lot of time.
So, speaking of biggest, longest, what was the biggest challenge for you out of all the songs that we've done?
I mean, the challenge, the real challenge for the whole thing is just having everybody else's choices, because there's a lot of music that I've always avoided, thinking that I'm not suited for it at all. And I very quickly had to let go of that notion of, oh no, that's not for me. First of all, you won't like me doing it. Second of all, I won't be any good at it. And it's, there are better people for this sort of thing. But then when people are actually paying for the request, they're going, no, in effect, please do it.
So having been said, which actual song would you choose?
Really wants to keep me on the track, It's just, I would say These Boots Were Made for Walking.
Well, because everyone can go back and check that out.
Don't.
Oh, definitely do.
Don't check that. It was so not me that, and
But this was the thing, you see, because we opened it up.
It was hard.
And said that we're going to request any song. Anyone can request any song.
Any song.
And for me, what I spent a lot of time doing was playing piano music or songs either written for an orchestra or for piano and voice, but reduced to the piano, and then I would play it on like the 6-string, like on the classical guitar and things like that, because that's interesting for me. It's a challenge, and it helps when we both are found in our concerts in real life, when we both face the audience forwards. When I turn away and face the piano, it does break focus in a certain way, and also it's bringing new
emotion.
textures and timbres and ideas onto the guitar. Not that playing the particular songs that I would choose. Anyway, I'm going to choose a Schubert song, which was requested by Liz, which was Auflösung. And that was, if you go back and watch that one, a lot of fast notes.
It's hard on the piano,
By the way, who requested Boots Were Made for Walking?
Suzanne.
Okay, great. So, the most watched episode, which may come as a surprise to some people, you might expect one of the, the Beatles songs or one of the most popular classical songs, but it wasn't at all. And that's had 1,225 views, 1,225 views, and that was...
Hallo, Guten Morgen, Deutschland, Wichita lineman, and Lyndon Lee. They talk about quirky. I don't know whether it's, I have a suspicion it's either Guten Morgen Deutschland or it's Wichita lineman.
Right.
I think
it was shared a lot, but that is really interesting. But again, that'll be linked below. You can check that out.
And that was a request of Paul's, my husband. He wanted Hallo, Guten Morgen, Deutschland.
She's pointing there because he's there cooking her dinner at the moment. So, where else? Yeah, subscribers, another factual one. So the subscribers that we gained we started off with 1,000, or Patricia started off with 1,100 approximately.
And we're up to for London
1,850 or 1,850 now. So gained about 750 thanks to you, the dedicated watchers, sharers, commenters, and the likes. You know who you are.
That's a respectable, if that was in a hall, that would be very respectable.
So it's time for some more numbers. So the numbers of instruments played by Matt.
Oh boy. How many instruments has he played?
Pause the video, have a guess, and then I'm going to tell you right now. 53.
53 instruments.
Okay, pause the instrument and have a guess how many instruments Patricia's played. Unpause. 11.
11. Well, I'll tell you what they are, just so that you don't run away with some ideas. Auto harp, fine. Piano, nose flute, coconuts, castanets, sand shaker.
No, sandpaper.
Paper. Oh,
Shaker.
That's distinctive from shaker.
That's a different instrument.
Guero,
different technique.
That's the little frog. And the pan lids.
A melodica.
And the melodica. Don't worry, I wasn't going to read the word
triangle.
we actually wrote. And triangle. Ding. So that's
very clever. But here's some good ones, right? Let's do this. Let's do the sung languages. We'll do it Eurovision. I'll read the first one and you read the next.
Oh, okay.
You ready? These are the 8 sung languages that we've counted up that Patricia has performed in. And I've duetted on her with a couple. You ready? English.
Welsh.
Gaelic.
French.
German.
Spanish.
Italian.
Polish.
And Latin.
Yeah. Lest this sounds self-congratulatory, those are standard for most singers to be able to do.
Sometimes Czech in classical and Russian, and that's about it, isn't it?
So I haven't even done the Czech and the Russian. So it's not actually... What it is reflecting is what people have asked for. You know, he likes to have this herbal tea that has all sorts of bits in it. So just so that you know... It's got like little bits of orange peel and leaves and things.
Anyway, let's talk
about... If I
about...
were nicer, I'd sieve it out, but I don't.
A couple of factual things before we get onto the opinion stuff and the sort of meat and potatoes of this episode.
Oh yeah, I wanted
Sorry
to say...
if you're vegan. I'm going to call it the bones. No, you can't call it that either.
No, okay. I wanted to start with something like, what's a quirky moment?
So that's the last one.
I would say a quirky moment, for me, the number one quirky moment from all of them. Like, we're nearly at 400 songs now. For me is when...
that's true. People want to know the number of songs. As this goes out, it's about 390, isn't it?
Yeah. And just so that you know, we don't know our answers for these questions.
That are coming up.
Yeah. So all this is a surprise. But for me, the quirkiest moment was when in Wind Beneath My Wings, when Matt put a capo on and transposed at sight. Thus... You know, and so people...
The opposite of how most
people would use a capo. The opposite of what most people would use a capo for.
I used the capo for the sound.
For an effect, because he said that the sound of a capo with a 12-string on this song is the style. And only Matt would find that a distinctive sound, the sound of that sort of pushing down those Well,
it's because the capo effectively gives you an extra finger, doesn't it? That you can't...
But it also affects the timbre.
Because you can play higher chord positions, including open strings.
Only you noticed that, and I just
did you know what I was going to say? There was a quirky moment in Wind Between My Knees.
Between my knees. Wind between my knees. I was bow-legged as a baby, but I straightened out.
Wind Beneath My Wings. It's in the lyrics. I guessed...
I can fly higher than a mountain.
Yeah.
It's an eagle.
An eagle. And if you watch that, and I was like, fly higher than a mountain. Yeah. And then I laughed at myself because, when one sings a lot of songs, sometimes you can make an educated guess based on genre, and I tried to.
It's an eagle.
And that was a quirky moment as well in that song because you... I wanted you to turn the page. And I was like 5 times I went like that.
And he's like...
And I didn't want to have to say, can you please turn the page? That'll be nice and blurred.
Keeping on playing.
Listen, you've sat and listened for 13 minutes of an introduction.
Claptrap.
So now we're going to move on to the important part, which is what we're going to call the categories. Now, it's super important, again, to state that just because we've chosen these, it doesn't mean that we don't like the others. Do you want to say that again?
Absolutely. I'm going to keep saying this, actually, because we are grateful and thankful for every single request and every single requester, and we love all of them. Even these boots were made for walking. He got a great kick out.
We love them all. That's great.
All of them, and we thank.
It's not one I haven't enjoyed.
So, but if we have to choose one out of these different categories that's particularly remarkable,
just like all ceremonies, when they say back, it was very difficult to choose like that.
No,
and we're not choosing it what's good. We're just choosing it for some reasons that we're going to reveal. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
So, what is the name and title? What is the title of the first category? And before we'll go into the first category, I'll just tell you that We've each got a runner-up for each category if we're going to use it. And Patricia's got her choice, or nomination if you like, and I've got my nomination.
And we don't know who's each
so
other's
there won't be winners or anything like that.
We've got codes to go to each one, but we don't know what the codes are going to take.
So shall we start with yours or mine? Let's start with yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the first category, one of the things that really was remarkable...
So it's a tie, so we'll be playing both of yours.
Yes. One of the things that was really remarkable about when we started these, particularly, was just how many folk songs were requested and how many people wanted to see me and Matt do folk music, which was utterly brilliant because I've always loved folk music, but always thought it was for folk musicians. And Matt, well, he filed Young Folk Musician of the Year when he was 11.
Oh, don't remember, but 11, something like that.
And so, but then he's never really done very much.
Well, this is the funny thing is, I'm also a jazz musician as well as a classical musician, but in terms of actual jazz, we haven't really done any at all in terms of actual using, interactive ensemble jazz improvisation. It's been more using the classical and arranger skills. So category 1 is folk. So that's now going to go up on the board for everybody. There it is. See that? Folk.
Okay. I couldn't nominate one. I had to do a tie.
That's fine. Tie's fine.
My only tie.
So in a minute, I'm going to hit enter and we're going to be quiet for a few seconds whilst we play this example. Hopefully it all works. Here we go. Do you want to hold that?
Yep.
Before I do this, I'm going to just open it up on here as well. It's going to show a preview of another video, but don't worry.
He's doing all this.
Here we go.
No, don't watch that. That's not. There we go. Here we come. My girlhood friends and my own relations. Folk dress as well. Have all passed on now, like the melting snow. But I spend my days in endless roaming. Soft is the grass, my bed is free.
All right.
Carrick
Thank you very much for that selection, Carrick Fergus. It also reminds me of the days before we lit it like we do now, and we used to edit together three cameras. It just, quite frankly, took too long.
No brushing of hair.
Carrick Fergus, so...
I love that one. You played...
This is a tie, obviously.
Yeah, I loved it. It just,
so
to me...
So what was... why did you choose that?
The words and the way... I didn't expect to like this song very much because... It always struck me as it wasn't one folk song. It seemed to be sort of like a mishmash of two of them. And I was sort of like, oh, I never really took it seriously. But then when I started singing it and you did that arrangement, which was very sort of spare, and it just soared out.
Soprano ukulele is pretty
you can
spare.
see, I'm like, oh, I just love it. I love it. I come back to that and watch it a lot.
So you like soaring?
I love that.
It sounds like
soaring.
I don't know.
Of course, I'm a singer.
Soaring bird or something.
No, well, soaring emotions.
I like it too.
Something and we have to deal with a lot.
There we played folk music on the ukulele. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Who says you have to play folk music on the guitar?
Ukulele and glockenspiel,
as I remember it. So this is Patricia's tie for the category
folk.
Folk. No, hang on, I can do that
better.
You did it. Spatial awareness.
I know. Folk.
There.
Folk.
Here we go. Tell you what, I just pasted that, so let's try again.
We're learning how to do this. It's live.
Oh, yeah.
Surprised?
Interesting how you've chosen the intro, not the actual song, to start the extract.
Yes, it's just as valid. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me
As I say, all these links are going to be in the description, so people can go back and check them
out.
out.
That's a good idea. Are you surprised at either of those?
Scarborough Fair is good. I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a good choice in the sense that it all depends on what one defines as folk and what the intention is with folk. But I would say for me with that,
it's not how I think at all. I think like which one makes me most thrilled and is most remarkable.
Did it sound like we're singing from a long time ago?
Yeah. Mood.
I think ancient. So. I mean, ancient harp is such a good signifier for like if you watch a movie or something. It's like doom doom doom. Okay, it's before 1600.
It's so imaginative to make that modal effect with the
the harmonica and thingy. Well, I actually chose a similar one.
He has no guile. He has no false modesties.
Similar
Nothing
one
false
from me for the folk category. I'm just going to use one token here. So I'm not going to.
He hasn't even got a runner up.
I'm going to save my runners up because I'll need them later. So for me, I'll play the extract and I'll tell you why because it's very similar reasoning.
Sweet undertone, the song of heart's desire. Long phrases. I nearly chose that one.
Long phrases, and that's also.
If I'd chosen a third, it would have been.
It was word painting, sad, sweet undertones, and I'm playing. It's the double bass I'm playing there, and also very rarely in duets, you're gonna get unison duet with both classical double bass and mezzo-soprano. Almost, it's absolutely never, and it was an idea that happened to bring across the effectiveness of Larg and Love, which is, song from a long time ago, I guess, and, a distant past and time and way of being. And bizarrely, just double bass and voice brought that across.
And wearing a black bra with a white
for
dress.
Me. And that's not to say that other people would sing that song didn't be there. And also that's not to also I just want to say that everyone who's requested, it will be linked and it's always written in the description. So if we don't say, oh, that was requested X by Y, then
but we love all requesters. We were going to name every single one of you, but then we thought it would sound like a bunch of a list of victims, very quickly, and because it would be such a long list.
Right, quickly moving on now to the next category, which is opera.
Hey!
And a lot of people say opera singer generally, don't they, to refer to classical singer or a trained voice. But in this case, we literally do mean songs that are from an opera.
Yes.
Or
actual opera.
It could be any era of opera, of course. When's opera date from? Sort of the very end of the 16th century?
Yeah, they say the first one's Monteverdi's Orfeo, isn't it? Sorry, bits in the herbal tea. There's lots of bits.
Okay, so let's have
I'm a bad tea maker.
What Patricia's runner-up category is for opera. Should we do it that way around?
Yeah, sure. Runner-up.
And runner-up doesn't necessarily mean not as good, just to reiterate. It's just how it's listed.
Yeah.
Here we go. Opera, according to Patricia Hammond, Living Room
and
Requests.
And he doesn't know.
1 year anniversary. I'm about to press enter. Ooh, have I done it the right way around? Yeah, I have. Another one you've gone for the full introduction on the link.
Again, it's very important.
If nobody saw that, you'll have to wait and see. There we go.
There.
I was letting it get to that bit so people might recognize
Know what the
it.
thing is.
Okay, you've been cheeky and having needing more than 30 seconds, but I did play that because
I was happy to not have the aria at all because I think the rest is so.
But you sent me the link at the beginning of the aria. That's the
I know.
problem.
Oh, what?
So
did I?
Yeah, the link was at the very beginning.
That's what I mean.
So you'll see my samples are different. I've just had tiny little.
No, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do,
okay.
but no.
Anyway,
no, I thought that the intro was important.
Okay, the intro is important
That's
because
what I'm
I'm playing the oud.
No, it's what I'm saying is that it sets a Middle Eastern atmosphere for something that does not clash with it. I really like that.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, I would have been happy that it didn't go into the aria.
That's by Purcell. It's just composed in England.
Yeah. Okay.
Now in the 17th century. So that's what's really interesting. Most commonly heard, would you say? What's the most common string? Sort of, just the actual full ensemble. You usually hear that, don't you?
String orchestra. I like a string orchestra.
So that was chosen for Middle Eastern historic reasons.
Oh, just mood, ancient. You know, she's Carthage. I mean, I love it. It takes me to there. And
Dido.
I thought.
Yeah, okay, ancient mood. So we're climbing up into the 19th century or whatever, whenever we'll get wherever now. We're climbing up from ancient times. See what we've got on this one. Okay, this is Patricia's winner, but it's not winner.
There aren't
it's
winners.
Just the top that she's chosen. Nice face. Okay, I'm just gonna.
All right, you can move it wherever you like.
On this one.
Always in control, even.
Let's try this. See how this comes across.
If you remember, it starts immediately. There is no rush it. You could have let it go.
All right, Puccini. So when's that from? Like
Last
1906 or something?
It doesn't matter when it's from. I think it's amazing.
So why did you choose that
I chose it because contra guitar.
Yeah.
And mezzo singing "Si mi chiamano Mimi," which it would have started immediately. It would have been.
So we don't. I don't need. Yes, it's Puccini. So.
Chiamano. That's
so we don't need any of my runners up because, we didn't. I made a few duplicates in case we chose the same.
Have you?
Yeah. So.
No, but I'd like it if we chose the same. That'd be really a nice surprise.
Okay, so this is my opera one. I've actually forgotten which this is because this is my first one.
Excellent.
So I'm going to hit that.
Anyway, I like it. I think it's a beautiful job. I think it's a nice. What I mean is, I think it sounds good that way. Surprisingly.
Guy's face looks nice.
I don't want to be self-congratulatory because obviously, I'm not doing it at pitch. Okay, it's down. Here we go. But it's interesting. Right, what have you chosen? I wondered how to do that. Speaking
Okay, I chose that because
Gibson guitar play.
It's just it's an interesting combination.
Magic flute.
I enjoy playing that guitar and also, but I must say I also chose that because as we were discussing this, talk about challenges to overcome, which is going to come up later, but it's somehow it's just very difficult to read piano music, transpose it, play it on a guitar with a plectrum, try and play melodies, inner parts, bass lines, and then sing a baritone line, a vocal line, like correctly and accurately whilst trying to pitch it with Patricia. I think I could sing that a lot better if I wasn't playing and doing.
Funny you chose it because that's really high for me. That was soprano register me.
That's from Mozart Magic Flute by Menon Welche Liebe fühlen. So
funny you wanted that.
Well, I just thought despite all of that, we got the message across, and it did sound like a duet, that singing those words. I just thought it was an effective transfer of message despite the adversity.
That was part of the great big Rog magic flute requests run, because he just seemed to request everything from the magic flute. Oh gosh, what's going to be next?
So the next that's true. So the next category that I came up with was I'm going to save my, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to save my runner-up for another category. Yeah. Okay, good, because I just find it very difficult to choose. So the next category...
If we duplicate one, please keep it in, because I think that would be interesting.
Okay, good, yeah. So the next category, which came up with, is to allow for quite a large time span of when the song originally, either the recording or the sheet music of the song originally dates from, and that is this one. 1880 until 1959. So that, you might think that's quite a long thing, but some songs,
That's ridiculous to choose one. Basically, I have put runner-up far too many to mention, because basically, if I were left to myself, I'd probably take that category and make all the subcategories out of that. That would be all the...
Well, it's one of
all the categories would be under that
Patricia's focal
umbrella.
Era. So let's see what she did choose as the winner.
I just had to choose one.
Let's go.
Had to choose
and again,
one.
When I say winner, it's just her choice for this specific program. Obviously, we do them all again, right?
Obviously. Yes! Why not?
Let's see if we get this in quality.
Up the West End, that's the best end, where the nightclubs thrive. Down into a dive you go. There's a jazz queen, she's a has-been, Lord knows what. Every night she's there on show.
Wow, okay.
She dances underneath a magic...
Okay, well, I'm going to interrupt this and show people my favourite bit. That's amazing that you chose that out of all of the other ones. My favourite bit is this, obviously.
I know which bit it is. Yep, and you just went past it, yep.
Because we change the feel and we modulate.
Fanny the prosy nightclub queen. When she's dressed, she's like Mae West. She wears 2 saucepans upon her chest. That night, Fanny the prosy nightclub queen.
One of my instruments.
She likes swelling.
That's correct.
Swelling the lime, queen all the time.
Fan Like Fanny, is that a composition by George Formby?
Yes.
Or plus other people?
Yes.
So that was amazing. So you chose that. So why did you choose that?
It fills me with joy. I watch it. The energy. It is even the crazy outfit choice. It's over the top. The reason I started at the beginning is because the energy is there from the very beginning. You're playing those chords, and we are there.
But in having to play 40 extracts, I don't think we've got time to play every song.
I know. We don't have to. We don't have to.
I love it. I thank you for your nomination, and I understand. Yeah, that would be definitely up there for me. It's Fan Like Fanny. You should go back and watch that one and work out, why that was such a celebrate. Totally different to Formby, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why it was such a celebrated
There's only one
song.
George Formby Jr.
Okay, this is where I start to use some of my runner-up categories.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use. I'm gonna start from the runner-up, which is a 2-part extract, because the piece, we need that because it goes.
I'm not going to even look at what it says at the bottom. I'm going to wait till the image comes up to know what it is.
We got that one. It's really
one of the ropiest. Ah.
So that's half of it. And this
liked it when I
and then it goes to this in the second half, which some more people may recognise.
Splendid. This is early.
So I chose that. Yeah, the first bit of that.
It was more than a year ago.
We tacked on the
actual Pavlovian dance.
Yeah, which is from Borodin in the 1887 or something like that. And then Stranger in Paradise for the 1950s. So I thought that's a good choice because it covers both ends and both bases. But actually, I think your nose flute playing was quite accurate. And also, literally, that's a flute solo in the orchestra or whatever. Oh, maybe it's oboe, so I've forgotten. But the point is,
it ain't nose flute.
And playing that harmony on the guitar, I thought we created a definitive artistic statement.
We should do it again. We should do it again somewhere live.
And that's a very popular song. I think Tony Bennett sung that for like many
He didn't play the nose flute.
But he didn't play the nose flute.
He may be Tony Bennett, but
and that
play the nose
basically, flute. In summary, is like, okay, that's Patricia Hammond and Matt Redman. You know what I mean? That's what you're gonna get.
So
we moved some of the request concerts a bit around. We went to this church and things like that, So that's what you got there. Second runner-up.
I am far beyond the sea.
Surprising choice
of outfit. Heart will ever be.
Wow.
At home in dear old Scotland with my ain folk.
So that's an art song. A lot of people would think that's a folk song, but it's not, is it?
No, it ain't.
It's just a simple composition from the 1900s, about 1906 or 1903 off the top of my head. Female composer.
Yeah.
Which ties into Patricia's book. A Canadian female writing about Scotland in such a way that people think it's a much older Scottish folk song.
But it's not.
And I just think, we're getting into the territory of, I would say, things that this duet, and in particular Patricia, should, I'd say, be recognised for it. It's not that other people can't sing songs on a page and music, but, as time advances, there's so much of period performance that's lost and needs to be brought out again by reading about how many people sold songs.
Parlor songs are...
And also how people
they deserve respect.
Yeah, how people perform music
they
there.
Deserve
and
respect.
I think something like that is closer than how a lot of other people.
I love how you've maxed out this category.
Yeah, 10. Well, we're allowed 10 categories with one runner up each, so that's 20 extracts. So here we go, and then we got this, which I'm calling the winner, but of course there are no winners.
Eyes are tremble like the stars above.
Bunch of guitar and voice again.
And the little word that sings you love me. Just a little love, a little kiss.
So that's what, 1913 or something. It's a bit later.
Bollywood dress. Bollywood dress bought in Southall. Like a really old one that they didn't want anymore.
Popular songs.
This is out of fashion.
Popular songs did move on a bit, with some composers, but I'd still say it's an art song, isn't it?
High proportion of country guitars so far.
Weird.
Lots.
Well, it's about
like
the song.
half of them.
So, where's yours now? So, we're on to a new category, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. This one is called this category. 1960 to 1989, because there's a lot of songs in there that we've done.
That's
especially
true.
From folk. It's not all folks just requesting folk and classical and opera. Yeah. Absolutely not.
The last category is very much our category, but this is like everybody's category, it seems.
So Patricia again has only given us one for this.
Only one. I can't remember what it is.
Let's check that out and see what she's gone for. 3, 2, 1, plop.
Carry on my way.
Again, I like the beginning. I like the beginning. I'm sorry too.
There'll be peace when you are done.
I like the way it opens up after this minimal intro.
Don't you cry no more.
I like that.
I rose above the noise and confusion.
then it opens up into the song.
I like
people
the
know.
mixture of register, high and low. Was this a challenge for you to sing this song, or
no? It was surprisingly
less of a
easy.
challenge?
No, it's surprisingly easy. I'd never heard of it.
Carry On My Wayward Son. I mean, that's a very, you know, a lot of people won't be able to separate that from like the pop rock kind of and the rocky kind of idiom.
No,
but
and that's why I like it.
You made it sound like a folk song.
Well, you did because you chose the mandocello.
Yeah, true.
But I found it surprisingly transporting as a piece, and when you whittled it down to its components, its very pointillistic components, harmonic components on that instrument.
Okay.
It pulled out its bones, and it had good bones.
Very interesting. Well, listen, bones. Just like all the other ones,
so I enjoyed it.
It's gonna be in the description for everyone to go and drink up and revisit. Right. Again, I've maxed out on this one.
You really have, because you like this era a lot.
Right, so let's check.
I'd never really
this way I'll go reverse order. So we'll start with my 9th or my 6th selection, which is going to be this. Remember, we're on 1960 to 1989.
It's quite a lot of years.
This is going to be this.
Oh, I would be nothing without you.
Funny, I mentioned that.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
The capo. Not being used for transposing, but effect.
Yeah. So I chose Wind Beneath Our Wings because that's a story with an interesting song, and must not be forgotten that it was not a hit for the people who made it a hit first. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. It was recorded by somebody entirely different who never made it a hit, and he's got a really interesting voice, and you should definitely check that out on YouTube. But again, I thought it was one that Patricia managed to make sound again like a folk song.
Right. Well,
it's a thing that you do, and for that reason, it's about getting on and making something work for you. And I think that's a metaphor for life, really.
Well, you've got to find what your sincere message.
As they tear
really?
you apart.
Really?
As they turn your dream to shame.
Interesting.
He slept a summer by my side.
So that's from Les Miserables. And
why'd you choose that?
Not
that it's bad. I'm not saying that.
Patricia hasn't spent a lot of her life listening to contemporary and performing contemporary musical theatre. And you didn't do that in high school. You definitely avoided that.
Didn't have any music in high school.
Time in your music college education and stuff like that. Yet it showed a certain understand. I think one of your things is about this is why we can do any song, because provided it's a song about something, i.e. a song with words, then it shows a human, any kind of human message or story in a song. And if you can find that, that's why sometimes, you have to translate the song if it's in another language, or you have to spend time studying, or you create, you talked about the cat, and different ways that you create stories. Yeah,
he listens to what I say. I'm surprised.
So, and for some reason,
sometimes
the story, however improbable or whatever it is of that book, you managed to find it in that song, and I think again, that's a metaphor for singing, really. Okay,
wow.
Next, penultimate in this category for me.
I would be very surprised.
To that spot down by the river.
Yeah, this had a good energy. Nearly chose it.
Where our sweet love first began. Just because we are married.
Nice humming.
That's called Blanket on the Ground. So I was singing the bass on that, but also we got a lot of multi-instrumentalism from Patricia's Auto Harp, which we'd also mentioned in the introduction there.
Subscribe on
the subscribe sign was, I must say, that was a strong decision.
Okay,
and
that's interesting.
And 225. Did I just paste that, or have we got one more? And also again, I think a lot of people wouldn't think of somebody like Patricia as a country artist, but it doesn't matter if you can find a meaning for performing a song. But I was playing the bass drum and the guitar and I just thought it was very quirky combination.
Yeah.
But despite my mispitched notes, I just thought it was very accurate.
Yeah,
really.
and I
not very accurate. Sorry, very very the opposite of accurate. I thought it was very.
The energy was good.
Yeah,
I thought the energy was good.
I thought you a lot of people might think you might not understand that song, or I'm not country or something like that. But it goes to show in this example, you don't have to be country.
Well, I mean, I am not saying that, there must be some people out there, quite a few people who go like, horrible, opera singer doing what she should never do. So, fair enough.
Okay,
fair
next.
Cop. I think I know what this is going to be.
Which? Oh, you've seen it. Which?
Oh, no, it's not what I thought it was.
Okay, this is the top one for 1960 to 1989,
I'm
according
surprised.
to me. It's this.
For just one time, I would take the Northwest Passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one more
I did find myself
line.
wanting to choose that, actually.
So that's interesting. So that's a Canadian song, isn't it? From the 1970s.
I thought you'd choose Killer Queen for sure.
No, well, that was good, but I thought this one,
Okay.
just as Canadian as people know, and we had not a laugh, I would say, but a realization that it's purporting to be a antique, from the sands of time, like we started out folk song.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a composition from the late mid-century, and it's a metaphor for we said that in the episode, for
Touring in a car.
driving in a car. And even that being said, Patricia again managed to pull out that sort of thing. Now, I must admit, we did put a lot of effort into this.
That one.
And that's not,
That took a bit of
some of these I
preparation.
have to go to the computer or the paper and I write out all the sheet music, which I must admit is time consuming. Sometimes we can write the notes just in words. Sometimes it's a simple folk song, or sometimes, God forbid, we actually know it. So,
I make my mouth do that.
all right, I'll choose a different one.
Marginally better.
Okay,
there
so and for people who know that Sam Rogers record, it's all men singing together.
Yes.
Like, how are we going to get men singing together? And so at that point, it did present a challenge insofar as we wanted to preserve that quality, because we saw that as part of the composition.
Yeah, that.
Da-da! And all of that, and she going, huh, huh. So, and I was like, well, that's her voice range. She's got to sing the lead. I've got to sing live. So we had to find the right key and the right arrangement.
He knows my range into
So for people who do know that record, or don't, just go and listen to it. Sam Rogers' Northwest Passage, and then listen to see how we sort of shoehorned it into that duet. And for that reason, regardless of the musical material, I think that was Patricia's most effective. So. Now we're moving on. As people can probably guess, that's only up to 1989. What comes after that? Well, the answer to that is...
Oh, I know what you're going to choose.
Post-1990.
Totally know what you're going to choose.
So, now it's Patricia's turn to tell us what that's going to be.
All right, I forget what I chose.
So I'm going to plonk that in there.
Forget what I chose.
Go.
What did I choose? Yes. Sorry, beginning. But I like the way it begins.
We're all wearing green, aren't we? Was this a Christmas special?
This is a Christmas special. A song about murder, drugs. Love it.
Virginia was a law wizard from FLA. She had a compound fracture in a trunk.
Dressed like an elf in Santa's grotto.
It started when she ran away. Comes out on the interstate, hitched a ride to Misery.
It's called Misery. Mr. Whirly.
Okay, so that's one time round.
I like the way that he does. He's able to extemporize and have.
Yeah, we recently played. We played just a few weeks before a song called
The Man Who Played the Mandolino.
Mandolino, Dean Martin, and it went da dee da dee da dee da, and it's in the same key. And I thought, well, for conceptual, couldn't you like Karen? So why did you choose that one then for post 1990?
I think
spatial awareness.
I think I think it's. I like the song. I'd never heard it. It's a very alternative kind of the sort of thing that I enjoyed
from the
in
early
high school.
2000s, Green
Yeah.
Day. Yeah.
And I never would have thought, listening to that stuff, hanging out with the slightly alternative, very alternative crowd in high school, that I'd ever sing anything that would be of that ilk. And it was fascinating to be there. And also the way that Matt opted for me to play that instrument, and I'm not very good at really anchoring myself in a rhythm. So you can tell that I'm kind of all over the place, but I like that seasickness that resulted.
Sounds a bit like a sea shanty.
And I like it, and I think it works. And I think it's such a funny, quirky thing to have in a Christmas special. I love it. I love that.
Because it was like, Christmas dedication.
I love that. I love the quirkiness, and it really sort of for living room requests is requests.
We love all these requests, and look at all these journeys you've been on, which you wouldn't have
who
otherwise.
would have ever thought of that? So
you wouldn't be playing Green Day usually, would you, singing it?
No, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I think Patricia's right with the next selection, because
all.
I've often gone on about this one, but I'll just play it anyway.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Can't stop thinking of your diamond mind. Careful creature made friends with time. Left lonely with a diamond mind. Those ocean eyes.
Oh, look at the emotion.
So yeah, that's Ocean Eyes.
That was your favorite pretty much
Brilliant.
instantly. Like as soon as we'd done it, I knew that was going to stay
again,
your favorite for a long time.
We have Patricia being a classically trained singer, singing, a lot of classical music and music of the era of trained voices and the music of the era of sheet music. And, particularly as we've talked about before, her 78 RPM records, growing up, and not the ones that she'd made, but the ones of the singers she'd listen. And then, the opposite end of that spectrum is music, from the 2010s. Well, not always the opposite, sorry, but, the easy answer might say, oh, it's going to be music from the 2010s.
Yeah.
So, we transformed that, and there was a huge range there, two octave vocal range in that.
That was creative.
With a little Mbira. We missed out Mbira.
Mbira.
You played, so you actually played.
Mbira.
No, but that means you
Billie
played.
Eilish.
It means you played 12 instruments.
Oh, that's an instrument.
Rewind, edit.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, we forgot that.
We'll just pretend that we'll just put Sandpaper in the same category as Shaker. I think that would be fine.
Basically, I chose that because again,
it's
a similar thing. Finding a way for something to make work for you, a lot of the syncopated rhythms
that's creative.
that are not part, those types of syncopations, some of them, which we got rid of some of them, and then we found the right key, and then I made this sort of like West African, if you like, banjo. It sounds like a kora, the gourd instrument that they play, which is highly highly embryonic of the blues forms that arrived in the USA.
Yeah. I can't sound like Billie Eilish. I can't sound like any of the people that originated these things.
So Patricia's been very, very, what's the word? Thingy with your categories here.
Yeah,
Restrained, yeah. So this category, we're coming down now to, we've got... We're halfway through. God, we need to speed up.
Yep.
So this category we're calling vocal. So that's chosen for the actual vocal performance itself, as opposed to any wider reasoning that we've come across.
You're going to find mine a little bit...
We've only got one, so let's plonk it in. Here we go.
I don't know.
Part of me thinks we should break this up into 2 episodes, but anyway, we'll see.
No. If you're in for a penny and for a pound.
Okay, going for the beginning.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So,
to dream the impossible dream.
like this. Is there any particular part of this song which you think is particularly the best?
Okay, push it forward a bit.
At the end or the middle?
Yeah, middle.
Okay, so where is she? So middle's here.
Melodica moment for the vocal category. Okay, I'm sorry, I failed.
Without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for
Okay, so why did you choose this one?
Because,
by the way, that's called Impossible Dream from the Man from
La Mancha.
It's a musical, isn't it?
It's
a stage show
from
the 60s.
Yes,
mid 60s,
early 60s to mid. I don't know.
And we've done that one twice.
We have.
So why did you choose that as best vocal performance as opposed to an opera or a 1910 song?
Because just the scope of the breadth of the singing, it just
starts
fits.
Quite low actually in comparison.
Yeah, the range is big, but it swells, and there's a good soaring legato, strong legato, and I just when I watch it, I just think, okay, vocally, yeah, you've got that one. And for me, a good vocal is one where you feel like that person can do exactly as much and more. Like you feel that there's a bit more in reserve. Unlike your bit there with your extemporizing, you're like, I'm going to go as high as possible. and you
it's
will
funny
because
that A flat seems to be about my limit, and that comes up later actually.
Well, you are playing
not limit, but
amazingly at the same time.
But I'm doing 12 string and
foot
tambourine. Foot tambourine.
Yep, foot tambourine, 12 string.
So go watch that, because that's Patricia's favourite vocal performance of all 390 songs.
I'm sorry I didn't.
And it's not doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best, and it's not like she couldn't choose like 20, 40 other ones.
Well, but it just, I don't know.
So 407. So that's really interesting. Okay, good. Really, really revealing and nice to know. This is a runner-up for me.
I like it when that happens.
So a lot of people won't know that song.
No.
From one of our German-speaking requests.
Yes.
And it's by Nina Hagen and...
well, actually, that request is fluent in English and German.
Yeah, equally. And that's Peter. So, yeah, that's really interesting.
He's actually American.
I chose that as the runner-up because, again, added something characteristic. And I think...
again, I'm not Nina Hagen.
Oh, God. I mean, for example, yeah.
Or Tom Waits.
Not Nina Hagen. And so, that's what came up there. Back in the days,
and you wrote that line. That
it sounds. And I tell you what it is as well. In terms of vocal ability, agility, whatever, it's changing character, isn't it? Like change it. It's you've got this kind of. We play the rest as a sort of electric, sort of 30s tango and habanera, and we get castanets and all that sort of thing. I'm going to stop saying go and check them out, but do check them out because some people have joined us recently. If you've got this far, which is highly unlikely, you will.
Hello, people still watching.
You may find that you might not have watched some of these because they've been from a while ago.
Yeah, there's just so much. Why would you?
Okay, so this is the one I've chosen as the vocal category, not runner-up.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologise. I've just pasted the same link. Take 2, 240. It should end it.
Easily done.
Tropical moment. So it's interesting because earlier on today, Patricia and I were listening to some mandolin cylinders and 78 RPM, and we said, what is it about, Estrellita's a song, I think is it from 1906, 1909, I think, again, and it's like, what do so many modern performances of music from that period miss? And I would say it's subtlety of phrasing and things like that, and it's good to just inject that back into the music. It goes up, it goes down a bit, but then it kind of goes loud a bit and quiet a bit, and it's very easy. It's very difficult, I think, to teach people those things in music. When you're learning as a child to learn music, it's an understanding beyond the notes and pitches and rhythms.
This is an amazing testimony. I had no idea he was thinking any of this stuff.
Vocal duet.
He's not one to, go and give compliments. Right, vocal duet.
Right, so this is Patricia's. Let's just flip that on.
You'll be happy to know.
So that's called vocal duet, folks. So I guess this is talking about some aspects of us singing together. In particular, singing together, and why and wherefore. We'll find out right now. No, I've done it again. I sincerely apologise. Right.
Sorry, no.
Fire the administrator. Go.
You're doing a very good job.
Would give an ordinary day a lovely glow.
I just want to transition.
It's an octave, isn't it?
I'll never let a day pass by, but that I'll see your face.
That's it.
And thrill to every tender song.
It's very interesting that you can tell people about this.
That's a blend. That is a I think, for me, that is a really good timbral blend. The fact that in octaves, you know, Matt can, he's sung with me so many times that he can
So that's not the typical way that we sing. Almost never sing in octaves.
In octaves, but I thought that particularly
interesting,
really blended
and
well.
also at the point in the arrangement that it comes.
At the point of the arrangement, that's why I gave a transition, because it's like it comes in and you go, oh my goodness. And
so everybody check that out, because that's what Patricia's chosen as a highlighted vocal duet moment.
Which is
so uncharacteristic. Well, we'll get to my selections and I'll argue my points, but it's interesting because a lot of these songs, particularly like this is a Victor Scherzinger song, and it's a song from
I think it evokes a kind of like the kind of those sweet bands and what the effect that would have been got with like horns.
Yeah, it really does.
Horns.
So I'm going to use some of my
horns means anything, doesn't it?
Horns. It does. And of course, I'm playing the electric guitar and I'm playing the drum as well. So if people listen on headphones, you'll hear that. And it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you noticed that. I'm always trying to make arrangements and timbres beyond like the basic. A lot of people do the same format for every song. Here's my duet. She sings. I play the chords on the guitar, but there is actually so much more that can be done.
Well, if you're limited to two people for such a long time, you manage to evoke other things.
Let's see if we can get through
you really did evoke that.
So this is one of the runners-up for me on this category. If I'm not mistaken, I had other ones as well. People who meet in a romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely.
Nice arrangement.
Warbling of a meadowlark, moonlight in Vermont, you and I, and moonlight in Vermont.
Same era.
Yeah, same, similar thing, but a lot of different things going on there.
Things, yeah.
I think we use both voices in 4 different ways there in that short extract.
But yeah, that's true.
And in fact, if you go back to the beginning of the song, you'll find a total of 5 ways in which both voices have been used. So I think people can take from that to not just take voices at the most basic face value and obvious way. And when you say opera singer or whatever, I mean, my voice is not in tune, but it doesn't matter, because like the idea, also it modulates and then it uses some like clever whatever.
Basically, try not to be boring stuff. Even if
music.
Try not to be boring even if you fall.
Something like that.
Do that.
Right, let's try and get this on now.
I'll walk a tightrope and I'll fall off, but it won't be boring. You see me smack my head open. I do like that.
So I go to the corner to hang around some more. I want to happy looking Papa Snowball.
chose that one because that's, probably
Different
people
use of
wouldn't see
voice.
that as a vocal
Yeah,
duet.
no, they wouldn't.
But it's two voices
playing
singing.
an instrument. What did you say? Was it like a bass
Saxophone kind of approach,
yeah.
as you get in 1920s
Line.
and 30s music. And it's interesting because earlier on in that song, Patricia used her voice in a different way because we sang it a fourth lower.
Oh,
so it
yes,
sounded completely
yes,
different.
Yes, it different
and
keys.
I used that because it's just interesting again that voices can be used in a different way. And I think it should just open up minds to arrangers and people
He's
listening
so
to
maxed
music.
Out his...
People listening. Have a listen to the way that you can use a voice. And I'm not saying this is by any means a masterclass because there's billions of ways. Plus, we're only doing tonal music. We're only doing music from a certain period. We haven't done. There's so many ways that we haven't, particularly using voice in wordless ways that we haven't even used yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
And it's interesting,
There's still more to do.
I sang right down to a C there as well. It's just like didn't really speak so well, but you'll hear on headphones. Right, okay. What are we on now? Hang on, let me just check this out.
Another choice for you.
Yeah, another choice
you
for
maxed right out. Whoa.
Okay, so 14,
I was sort of strained.
14A and B.
Me.
Why have I done this? This is right. I'll have to play this first. Right, so this is an A flat, showing an A flat or a G sharp. But two ways in a way our vocal duet can be so different on the same pitches.
Okay, sure. Called Mr. Wu, Mr. Wu. I'm telling you, I've got those kind of limers, Chinese laundry blue.
And now the same pitch. We're going to go back to the first episode 1 year ago today, April 17th,
Oh my.
2020.
We go into a dark room before we lit things.
Before the age of light.
Before the age of light.
We're going to hear the same pitches, but creating such a different mood,
We'll build a sweet little nest
And some triangle.
somewhere in the west, and let the rest of the world go by.
Doesn't it sound completely different?
Yeah, you'd never know. The same
because we've often talked about people's perception of is it high, is it low? I mean, sometimes sopranos when they sing low, it's not low at all. No. It's just because they're like 5 foot tall,
Yeah.
And I particularly find that with Patricia's voice as a mezzo-soprano, it can be so deceiving as to what the actual pitch is, and you get that with plucked string instruments. If they've got a very dark tone, it can sound lower. You know what I mean?
Back in the days when we didn't light it as well, and when we thought that people would be very disconcerted to hear no reverb.
Oh yeah, we
added it.
So ambiance.
Feel like they were in a hall, but it just sounds like you just added reverb. So
right. And then this is the one I've chosen for the actual category.
Oh, finally we get there. Whoa.
No, I've done it again. I apologise.
That's all right.
Stop.
Hey, you're doing very well.
Let's try again.
Man, he's controlling all the things.
3, 2, 4. Here we go. This is my choice for vocal duet.
Intense.
When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away, fly away, fly away.
Yeah, that's a proper duet, that is.
That's more
That's
like people
duet.
expect a duet, two people effectively singing
Giving
in
her.
a conventional manner.
Giving
But
her.
I chose that because that's a hymn published in the late 1920s, right? But I mean, I could be wrong about that. Obviously, it could be like 1932. I can't remember. I haven't prepared notes. But the point is, in its original form, it's what we call SATB, or soprano, alto, tenor, bass. And sometimes what Patricia and I do is evoke the feeling of a choir
Yeah.
with two people.
Try.
So I weave something there which sound like that. I think it's also good because I'm actually singing in tune roughly. And also I don't know if you can tell, but I'm playing the mandolin banjo very loud, like the actual accompaniment is loud.
Gives a choral feel.
Yes.
Because of all the frequencies being wailed
reason,
out of that instrument.
So for that reason, I think if people are familiar with that, and some American choral singing and going back to, shape note singing, white gospel music, I think we got the feeling of that across with two people, and it's just a really distinct moment that's not. I don't think we repeated in any other songs.
No,
actually.
No, that's true.
So it was to be highlighted. Choice. Right. We're moving on to our next category now, which we're calling multi-instrumental performance. So this is just whatever's chosen for.
Now Patricia. I'm starting to dread that I've just placed them all at the beginning, but
we'll just see.
We'll just see, because you've put a lot of thought into which bit. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
But it's good. No, it's good.
If it's showing that, then that's fine.
I think it does well. No.
This is me playing the xylophone at the moment, folks.
I sing it one last time for you.
And this is a song by Snow Patrol from the
really
early 2000s.
Yeah.
Go.
Often used in funerals, if you're to believe what they comment underneath,
Thing that's right in all I've done.
It's a glockenspiel.
And I can barely.
I could have started it there.
Okay, let's have a look. So what happens?
What happens?
Yep.
Skipped it. No, you gotta get the transition.
Right. Transition?
We could have.
But every
Here we go.
light up.
Yeah, there were challenges here, which he amazingly surmounted, because you can see this instrument, this from 1935, it's seen better days, and it leaks. So if you don't anchor it and lock it,
it slips.
It slips. So he has to unlock it.
Oh, every time.
And get his hands on the right chord.
Every time.
And then lock it back up, and then find the beaters, and then place the and he manages it every single time. And here we go. Watch. He finishes it. Nice. Quickly push it shut.
Well, I've done it as part of the arrangement.
It. Yep. Lock it. There he is. And he does it every time.
Okay,
and furthermore, it's
so.
You added the triangle.
And watch, he smiles when I hit the triangle, because he's pleased right. I did it. See, so he could react in a positive way to me at the same time as doing all the rest.
I'm also playing the drum, which you can't see.
Yes. So that is consummate multi-instrumentalism as far as I'm concerned.
Patricia's
so that was even a
runner-up,
even a runner-up, and but the winner for me.
What's going on here?
Again, it's the beginning, because you demonstrated right away, and you're saying a lot there.
Deal, yeah.
And he gives me my first note.
I know I stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know
it's not
that
showing
there's a
off.
chance
It's
you won't be
song.
leaving with
He's saying
me.
And you don't worry for him either. You're not sitting there going, "Oh God, is he going to do it? Is he going to drop it?" It's not. It's only two instruments.
That's interesting. I made an interesting tuning for that purpose of that song.
You've done some. Of course, you've done some tuning, but the thing is, I know that you've played more instruments and things like there's alternation, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I think that in that one, you serve the interest of the song really really well, and it works. And you go, "Oh, actually, that makes a good sound." Like, even if it weren't for an instrument, like if you'd had two people doing it, it would have been just as good. So I think it works.
Good.
Like, from a musical perspective,
that's my thing.
We're not sacrificing anything because it's just one person doing it.
But I'm always interested to see multi-instrumentalists who innovate and stuff. So you should definitely comment below if you know of any other ones. I chose
who don't use loop stations. This is the thing. So many times
can't be bothered to set them up.
So many times people will send Matt thing like, "Oh my OMG, this person uses so many instruments," and they're using a loop station where they'll lay down a track which will instantly replay it. And that doesn't count. Like, that's okay. That's
great.
Of course it
counts.
It does count, but it's not the same.
It's not the same discipline.
It's not
the
same
different
discipline. It's a completely different. It's like saying, oh, you're a fantastic saxophone player. Here's somebody who plays the organ. It's just something totally different.
That.
Yeah.
So I chose an obvious one for people who have
choices.
watched Living Room Requests from the beginning or caught up, but I didn't actually choose it for the reason that people would say.
Okay.
Liebes Kind, komm mit mir, gar schöne Spiele. I mean, if you haven't watched this one, you probably should. It was a special request from John and Adam, and
from his cheeky friends.
Yeah, it was. There was a request to play Erlkönig Schubert on a few different instruments, but
dress up as Schubert,
and I upped them by going with the smoke machine, which broke, but it broke anyway, and I managed to carry on. And I'm only choosing. This is the only one that I'm choosing because I think it was just one of those kind of special moments. We didn't practice that really. It was funny. But I chose it for the inclusion of smoke machine.
Okay.
And that is not.
Do you count that as an instrument? Well, it's one of your 53 instruments. Smoke machine.
Because it's one that I physically started and stopped with my finger and bent down.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work.
So it wouldn't work. So we're now going to do a new little category, which we're going to call Transformation. Transformation. So this is the thing. People will ask for a piece of music, and you go, oh goodness, that couldn't work with me. I mean, and it couldn't work with whatever. It's just so. How are you gonna make it? So this is about the arranger's art. And how you take something and you make it into something else. But it's just your opinion.
No
so the people
surprise as to which one I chose.
Some people might disagree.
Well,
so this is the runner-up.
Well, they're all transformed.
Here we go.
But particular transformations, anyway. Runner-up.
Don't go in life.
What?
Going from the beginning.
No. It's not Don't Go in Lion's Cage.
No, it just said that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well... Again, this is where the transformation happens. This is right away.
It's already transformed.
It's already transformed.
You haven't even started singing.
No.
From out of static, time has grown. Existence formed by substance unknown. Prelude to matter, shift or disorder.
So this is a Scandi metal band.
Between chaos and order.
Because you can tell by the lyrics.
Yeah, Scandi metal band. What more transformation than an operatic mezzo and an oud player?
But it doesn't sound like out of place.
It doesn't, but that's a heck of a transformation.
It is. I suppose if we were to just literally play it by now, you're right, it would sound very different. To me,
that's amazing. And he wrote it out note by note.
It was one of those ones I had to just write out for sure.
And then we can't get the greatest
transcribed and transposed.
On Shots edition.
Yeah. Playing the oud, yeah. It does go quite at the end, doesn't it? It does go...
The pendulum upholds the carnal deceit.
I mean, if you know it's from the metal song, you can kind of hear.
Eternal, endless, indefinite. The paradox renders.
Oh, well found. Yeah, that is a good bit.
Nothing about the process.
Anyway, this is the runner-up.
I mean, one could get it more transformed by singing it in full sort of. I know, plummy mezzo.
Okay, so this is the choice for you for the transformation.
No surprise where it is. I'm sorry, it's at the beginning. It's at the beginning.
I just saw pause a little.
You knew it would be this, right? No surprise?
No, not necessarily.
See you watching me like a hawk. I don't mind the way you talk. But if you touch me,
that's how I've maxed out my voice.
I live the life I love, and I love the life I live.
All right, yeah, interesting.
My favorite is actually the little solo in the middle. But anyway, yeah, no.
I'm waiting for an extended episode, so everybody go and check out that because that's Patricia's.
It's not to somebody's taste. There is a thumbs down on that. On the
transformation of Muddy Waters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who be like, "Don't do that to Muddy Waters." But he basically, how could I possibly
So I also
do that.
I also
so he made it into a kind of a sort of folky kind of.
Well, it's like a sort of. It's almost some kind of Joni Mitchell.
And that's my husband in the hat.
Yeah, it is. Look at him.
Sweet.
Blues man. Joni Mitchell kind of, can't think of any musical examples on my brain.
No,
but some sort of 70s electric piano, floaty, pentatonic folk.
But literally, the thing is, when I thought the request was made, I listened to it and went, I can't.
Oh, because you heard that. Yeah.
I couldn't hear the music bones under it.
Yes.
And you said, we'll just do it like a folk song. It'll be fine. I went, where's the folk song? I couldn't hear the folk song in there.
We just extracted the folk side of the blues.
Something musical.
Yeah, we extracted the folk side of the blues.
But you could identify the notes. So
this is the run up for me.
Is it?
No, this one.
No. We haven't ended. Oh yeah, well.
And when you get the chance,
this is a good choice.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
There, so you can see that the harmony's very, very similar, and it's still in 4. It's still sort of that.
I nearly chose that.
I think to people, it's just so things like ABBA songs are so intrinsically linked with the beat and the accompaniment.
Well, after I saw that, I went to YouTube and went ABBA Bossa Nova, and there were some, but they didn't sound like that. They sounded like ABBA.
Interesting.
With a bit of overlay.
I chose the same as Patricia for this category, but I chose a different bit of it. Well, and that was to highlight the way that the harmony took it even further away from Muddy Waters and reinforced the
which bit?
The particular genre, which I can't think of any musical references now because we've been sitting here for an hour and a half. But it would be this bit.
See you watching me like a hawk. I don't mind the way you talk. But if you touch me, something's gotta give. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live.
Yeah, this is my favorite bit, actually. I should have chosen it right here. Sorry. Yeah, this bit.
Because,
keep going.
I can listen to that later. It's just kind of a sort of slightly folky, jazzy, pop keyboard thing. But can you not still hear blues in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially here.
My favorite bit. Yeah. Favorite bit. Yes.
Oh, I suppose that's not
Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
it's almost like.
It's interesting, very interesting.
Almost like
So that was the only match that we've had so far.
Yeah, but it's an obvious one.
Okay.
Transformation.
So the last one we're gonna call Combined.
Oh right, Combined.
God, I still can't do this. Where's that?
Overall.
Wasting time. Right.
Combined.
Okay, that's the best I can do. Combined. Combined and overall. Patricia has just got a given 1 on this, and so we're going to play it, and then we'll see it, and then we'll have a little summary, then you'll be all glad this epic video's ended.
Over.
Here we go. We're going for the beginning on this one. Just holding a glockenspiel very nice.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair.
I like the overall.
Okay.
Outfits.
Oh yeah, it's good. I mean, the shirt's a bit.
The outfits, new romantic.
Isn't it bliss?
The hair, new romantic.
Don't you approve?
I go back to this. I've never liked the song.
Yeah,
in my life.
I didn't know that you were a fan of that particular song.
I am not a fan of that song.
Not everyone can like every single song.
I've always thought that song was pretentious. As a, even as a child, I didn't like it.
By Stephen Sondheim is from a musical.
You gotta keep it going. You gotta keep it going. So you can, I can talk over it. It's fine.
Because
you're gonna see when you play the Glock. I've always found it a little bit, too knowing. Like there's something about Sondheim where it's like, aren't we clever? Aren't we all clever together in this theater? And even as a kid, I remember thinking, here we go.
Just when I'd stopped opening doors,
we get a bit of one-handed cross-strung harp playing with a bit of glockenspiel.
Knowing the one that I wanted was yours.
And I keep emoting even though I'm holding a glockenspiel. It's just unlikely. And with my usual flair, holding a glockenspiel. But the thing is, when you think about this song really hard, and you really think about it, you think, actually, it's got a huge amount of emotional truth there. No one is there, and we put down our glockenspiel. I mean, basically, I can go back to this and watch it again and again, because there's always something to
So what do you think it was
be found.
that after not liking the song for like probably
the emotional truth to be found when you look for it?
So why had that not come as a listener?
Because I'm horrible. I mean, I'm horrible. Especially, I'm better now. But when I was a
comment
teenager,
below if you think Patricia's horrible.
When I was a teenager, I used to watch singers and go, I hate you. I hate what you're doing. I don't like how you're posing at me. I don't like how, I couldn't verbalize it. I just go like, I don't like that. Because, I just saw singers as people who dressed up and posed at me. And I just couldn't see the truth in them. And the only way I could see truth was in listening to the scratchy old records, the 78s. And there I found truth. There I found directness and intent. But when I look at the television, there'd be like a television special live from Lincoln Center, command performance for the Queen, whatever. There'd be somebody going like, ooh, I hate you. I hate what you're doing. That's not music. That's not singing. Give me Ernestine Schumann-Heink and give me Nellie Melba, like somebody. So this is a girl of 12.
Okay, and people who usually sing that song,
they'd be full
in public,
of the pose, and I'm sure there are loads of wonderful ones. But whatever happened on television, Channel 9, I don't know.
You're probably I see.
But when you look at the words and you think about it, and it's an emotional truth, and Matt's way of playing those little notes, it gave that transparency for the emotion to shine through. The glockenspiel's hilarious, but it works anyway.
Well, so that's just a musical device that it's serving, isn't it?
Overall, it's improbable and hilarious, but emotionally truthful. I like
There's a bunch of instruments that haven't come up on this list at all. Very interesting.
I like it.
Was that in any way challenging for you to sing as a singer? Like, did you just embark upon it and be like, right, I get this completely?
Pretty much when I read it, I went, oh, that's what it's about. Okay.
Okay. So the problem has been the barrier of the nature of the delivery of the performance has not even allowed you to get into it.
Yes, because send in the clowns. And they're always like, send in the clowns. Send in the clowns.
So for that...
Don't you love farce?
So the problem is...
My fault. I fear.
So that's actually an issue with you with a lot of genres, a lot of famous songs. The actual delivery has been the barrier to getting into.
But then this is unique to every single person. You cannot say empirically that is a bad performance. No, because for many people, they're crying, they're loving it. Singers are like perfume. Chanel No. 5 can smell like bug spray to some people, and to other people, it's worth every penny of the 300 quid you have to pay for it.
So I chose this one as the combined.
Sorry about
that. For reasons, I would say similar.
You've chosen only two. Okay, well done.
No, it's
runner-up and a winner.
It's the same song.
Oh, it's the same
just
song?
Different parts.
Oh wow, he's chosen one. Good.
Yeah.
Entering
so
into
what are your top sort of 2 or 3 guesses that you think I might have chosen?
Oh, good. I have no idea.
Okay, good.
Honestly,
so I'll just play it, and then I'll explain why I've chosen it after.
And I haven't even bothered to think, because I just know I won't get it.
Right, let's just check we're on full volume, because we were queuing that. Okay, so if I bloody paste in the right link, 146.
Oh!
Oh, it's loading, but she can already see it. It's a shame.
Oh! Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm looking at the little
why
words
is
at the
this
bottom of the
happening
chapter. Okay, because it's a HD and it's going.
Das klingt und singt.
Nice choice of place.
Das lobt
Better than me at this.
und
Here's the chorus if people don't know.
Will nur du allein, sonst stets die Stadt meiner Träume sein. Dort, wo die alten Häuser stehen, dort, wo die lieblichen Mädchen gehen.
And then later on, we get this. It's part of the same song. Just gonna paste it in there. 'Cause I'm not gonna go changing anything.
The broken zither. There's Harry Lime.
That's the end. So yeah, shame that didn't load. Now it's interesting because I don't think that's the best vocal performance. It's not particularly high, particularly fast, particularly complicated. There are a few tongue twisting words in the verses, and she did sing it in German and then in English. And I am playing the contra guitar, but you know, it's far from perfect instrument. It's got very high action. I miss quite a lot of the notes, like it goes block, because you know it's just so far for me to depress the string. You know, most people can't even play it at all. I don't mean most people can't play the contra guitar. I mean, handed that particular instrument,
I've watched them. They go, blimey!
A lot of players can't play it because the action is too
unplayable.
high. And then I played the broken sad zither that, you know, if you scroll back to the episodes where it appears, you can find.
Bought it on eBay and it broke because as soon as you touched it.
Yeah, it had a failed repair. So I'm just using the neck. But it's weirdly... the reason I chose it as the overall, well, whatever we call it, combined, it's because despite, you know, all of those things which would failed on the other categories, it's because it's like capturing a sense of, or in my opinion anyway, or to perhaps even to the layperson, capturing a sense of like being very Viennese, even though like neither of us are, or having gone to Vienna together, or like making that music in Vienna. The song's from about 1914, I think, and
it's from that time.
And it's weird that people, you know, in the future, and absolutely not Viennese people, can capture that. I think.
Yeah, it's
not weird. Sorry, I mean,
I like
it's
it.
unusual.
For sure. It's atmospheric. I have to say, just going back to Santa and the Clowns, I did see a version. Obviously, you know, I did look up and what is her name? She sang it. She won the Tony Award. She's English. She's an actress, sort of voice. I loved her. Oh gosh, she was in Mary Poppins, wasn't she? Anyway, I can't think of it. There are ones I love. I'm not that bad. It's just as a girl. You know,
no, look, this is YouTube. We're putting the U into YouTube, and therefore we're telling people what we think. It's our opinions. The factual stuff we got out of the way. And there's a couple of other things. Pick up that sheet now.
Yes.
There's a couple of other things that I just want to, you know, go into. So that ends the selections and the categories.
But we love them all. We loved all the requests, all the requesters, and yeah.
Carry on.
I feel that we, you know, it's been an amazing. We're going to continue doing this, obviously, because it's great.
Yeah, it's just a one year video. Nothing more.
Nothing more. We're going to continue because it's wonderful. I've learned so much. My repertoire has expanded.
Your horizons have been broadened.
My horizons have been broadened. I feel I've gained as a musician. I feel because he stretched me the hell. And
I've also had the opportunity to play every single instrument that I've got, and many that Patricia's got. Some percussion I don't think I've played your pan lids, and I haven't played your sandpaper. But not yet. Not yet.
They're your pan lids, actually.
Okay.
They are.
But that's amazing. It's amazing to be able to play music for money the whole time during COVID, and also to have the opportunity to do wacky stuff, creative stuff, and you know, there's fans, whatever, people who basically appreciate that, many of whom can also play and sing, and collect music or have a piano, that sort of thing. So they're saying, "Oh, thanks for doing that. Why don't you do this one? It's
amazing.
Or I'd like to hear what you listen like, feel like that one."
It makes us think that we're still viable as musicians, and also it feels like you're walking in people's shoes when you do
That's
their
exactly right.
favorite songs. You embody what they love. And also I am amazed that anybody would want, when you've got YouTube and you can watch, you can watch Kansas, the band, do Carry On My Wayward Son. You can watch them do it live. You can watch them, you can listen to their original, but you'd still kind of have that intellectual and artistic curiosity to go like, what do these two people do with it? That's just such an amazing tribute. And I just feel hugely honored that anybody would do that. And it's just a great opportunity to really, it's, in a way, it's more intimate than even being in person, because how much more in person can you be when you are
You're absolutely right, yeah,
embodying
agreed
and the emotions of the people's favorite songs.
Agreed. We really value that people. We're saying this at the end. Nobody will be watching, but I tell you what, if you are watching at the end, why don't they comment?
What would be the word?
I don't know. Why don't you say copper pot?
Copper pot.
Yeah, copper pot. And that'll check if anyone's made it like nearly an hour and 48. It did take a bit longer. So I've played everything. So we're going to link the categories below, all of those links, because obviously we've already got them written out. We just paste them. And there's a few other bonus ones that I've put, which I've saved.
Very interesting, because I had no idea he liked the things that he's.
There we go.
That's
very YouTube. Put in the U in tube.
Ooh.
See what I mean? That's what people like, apparently. We'll soon see, after this is gone off live. So, thanks for sticking with us. It's been fun and revealing, and you've covered many aspects. Comment below if you would like any more categories, or if you'd have chosen different things, or why, and
what your favorites are.
All of that good stuff,
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next normal concert very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, and bye-bye.